Welcome to the Skate Like You Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, it's Mark, Skate Like You Podcast, SK8LIKEYOU.com. I am here with Brian Keltz. How you doing, Brian?
Pretty good. How about yourself, Mark?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Thanks again so much for doing this.
No problem.
So we kind of was in Texas, right? That you had said to me, hey, man, I think I'm ready to go. So this might be the toughest question that I ask you. What prompted you to be ready maybe when you weren't ready before?
I just needed some time when you and I, discussed it last time, with what I, was going through and whatnot,
Okay.
With the cancer and everything like that. So since then, everything has been a wrap. I'm cancer free. Everything is good.
Wow.
And I got a checkup in another year, and we'll go from there.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, man. Now, you kept that pretty close to the vest. You're pretty private about that.
Yeah, I did. I had 2-stage throat cancer. So
okay.
Yeah.
And look, if you don't want to really get into this, it's okay. But for yourself, why did you kind of find it necessary, maybe not to talk about this as openly or as publicly previously?
My family, my children,
Okay.
Stuff like that. Just the people who I felt pretty close with and I had a connection with,
Mm-hmm.
I was open to share that with them. You as one of them, Michelle Garman, a couple other people. But a lot of people know now and everything. And, they said everything, wish me luck and everything like that. And, I'm glad to hear about, everything went good. And, we're just moving on to, a whole new direction here. It's a whole new journey here I'm going to be going on. So it's great. It's really, it's so surreal. I thank God every day for it, and prayed through the whole entire thing, and of course I had Lacey there by my side, which is a huge, huge support system for me. If I don't know how I could have made it through, that actually without her being there for me. So, I'm just thankful for her, thankful for everybody who stood with me by my side and was checking in on me.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. And you know what? I tell you what, if there was ever a support right next to you, I can't think of anyone better than her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seriously. Wow. I'm so happy for you, man. I'm happy for you both. Oh, that's such good news, dude. Such good news.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I had no idea when you had told me first. And I mean, the first thing I had said was, wow, which is a weird thing to say, to be like, thank you for confiding.
Yeah.
In me. It's like a weird thing, right? Like, but
yeah,
look, I mean, not that I had ever gone through anything like that, but I mean, like, I had a, similar situation in prognosis, at least being unsure, and it's a weird thing, man, to talk about with people.
Yes.
The way you think that you would think about it is so different when it becomes real.
Mm-hmm.
It's so different, So, man, I'm so glad to hear this, man. That is awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot.
Nice, man. Well, who knows? Maybe we'll round back to this some way, somehow throughout the duration of this conversation. But who knows? But we're here to talk about skating, or I mean, at least as a backdrop. You know what I mean? That's usually how it starts. But so look, man, if you've watched, or I'm assuming you've seen enough of these or a few of these to know there's one question that I ask everybody. And that is, do you remember the first time you ever put on skates?
Yeah, I was about 9 or 10 years old. It was back in grade school, going to all the grade school, events and stuff like that. They would have once a month, for your school. And I just really, really loved it and got into it. And I've always been into something with wheels on it, whether it's skateboards, bikes, and then motorized wheels down the road. And I just around 12 years old, just grown to love it and, got really into it. And there's a lot of, it's called freestyle skating back then, which is shuffle skating here. I just followed a bunch of people, idolized a bunch of people. And I just felt, called and compelled to, that was niche and that's what I wanted to do. So and I loved it, and I still love it to this day.
Nice.
I've been skating for 40 years, man.
Nice. So so it was a school trip that you initially took at about 9 or 10. And so were like you kind of like skating on a regular after that, or was it kind of off and on, and then age of 12 you really kind of dove in?
No, it was kind of age 10 to 12. I had a couple people, neighbors that lived up the street from me, and they were really, really into it, the whole entire family. And they actually got me involved in the whole thing. And, that's where I kind of went from there. And, you know, that's where it led.
It's funny because you mentioned about being into basically anything with wheels, right? You know, biking, skateboarding and stuff. Now, when I came up, like, yeah, it was weird. It's so funny to see people out like in these skate parks with quads now. Like it's like this socially like cool thing almost. At least online it looks that way. You see these girls doing this crazy stuff in these pools and these vert ramps and just you know. But all I know is that when I was 15, if I showed up to my skate park with quads on, man, that would have been a wrap for me, dude. Like, like they would have been it, man. So you know, it's kind of interesting whenever I hear somebody like, you know, around my age, maybe a little older, maybe just a little younger, kind of like that Gen X kind of age group. When I hear someone that is like into skateboarding and into quad skating too, it's like, man, as far as like where I grew up, the cultures did not, I don't know, cross at all.
No, not at all.
So that was the same for you?
Yeah, it was more scooters and everything versus roller skates, you know, back then, especially out in the skate parks. But yeah, I mean, I've never ever seen quads actually out on a skate park when I was growing up.
No way.
No, yeah. And I've done skateboard biking competitions, you know, my whole life growing up and everything, and kind of put roller skating as like a side thing because I loved being outside all the time, you know, on the quarter pipes and half pipes, all that crazy stuff back in the day. And like I said, anything with wheels on, I just loved it. And then it was, I'll be honest with you, it's mostly a winter sport. I didn't really do it in the summertime very much because I just love being outside, you know, and now you don't even see kids outside. They're all on video games and social media. So how times have changed for sure.
I tell you what, it's funny. I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and it was like, we weren't even allowed in the house like during the summer. It seemed like I remember we'd go down to my friend Chris's house. He lived right down the street, and you know, parents in the neighborhood would kind of take turns making lunch, you know, for everybody. But down in his basement where we used to enter the house, like they had like kind of like this. It was like the spot for like him and his brother. But the Nintendo was down there, you know, a couple couches, coffee table, whatever. So we go in. And, you know, Chris's mom would make lunch or something like that. And, you know, somebody would fire up Nintendo, man. And if I tell you what, it was like she knew the moment that last bite was taken, you hear her down through the house. Get outside. Get outside. Yeah. And we'd piss and moan for like 2 minutes, right? But then we'd go outside. We forget all about it. We were just gone, man. We were gone all day.
Yeah. All night until the street lights came on, and then you had to go back home.
Yeah. And like if it was like a Friday night or Saturday night, like we were out after dark playing hide and seek. Like hide and seek was huge in my neighborhood. Yeah. After dark, man.
Flashlight tag, man. Flashlight tag.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. We had a lot. Now, where did you grow up though?
I grew up in Plainfield, Illinois.
Okay. And that's a suburb of.
Yeah. That's over by like Joliet. It's out by Indiana, Wisconsin area. It's in Illinois, but Plainfield, Illinois. It's where the 1990 tornado went through. The really, really big one. And I was actually playing outside football when it actually hit, and was in the school when it actually hit. So it was pretty scary.
Yeah, but so Sparkles was nothing for you the other night.
Yeah, I was a little nervous.
Were you really? Seemed like everybody was fine. I'm not used to that type of stuff, man. Yeah, I was a little sketched out.
Yep. I was a little nervous, but I just gave it all to God, and and everything turned out.
Do you know how close those they said like 2 touchdown fairly close by? Did you ever find out like how close they were?
They said no, they just said it was like right down the street somewhere.
Right down the street.
Yeah, they had to close and block off some roads, but they didn't say how far away or anything. There's like just right down the street. You guys have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, you're perfectly fine, man. I mean, I know we were out at the Marietta Diner after like 3 a.m. So, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I was sketched out, dude. Like, I don't, I was telling somebody like I think the worst thing I ever went through was like the ice storm in '98 up in New England.
Okay.
And I was in southern Maine. But like, yeah, I mean, we had a wood stove, you know, like if, you know, so even if the power went out, like we were okay. Like, but as far as houses falling on me, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere, like I've never been in that scenario, man. Like, so I just thought it was funny. They told us to go to the jungle gym. That was like the spot, apparently.
Yeah, right. Everybody's hanging out in the jungle gym.
I felt so safe. Let me tell you, man. But that's a Midwest thing, man.
I just wish that roller skate was out there. I would have went out in the roller skate.
Oh my God. Can you imagine if that thing got...
Yeah, no. Oh. I couldn't imagine. And I'm thinking that's probably why they didn't have it there, because they knew there was a storm coming.
Dude, yo, Munchkins would have been like field day with that thing. Imagine that thing dropped off in Munchkin land. You know what I mean? It's so ridiculous. All I do is make Wizard of Oz references, like, which is probably, I swear to God, but especially with tornado stuff. But yeah, man. So okay, now wait, you said you were competing and stuff like that, like skateboarding and biking and all that kind of stuff.
Yep. I was in events and stuff like that. Yeah, sponsored by Vision Streetwear and everything back in the day.
Now Vision was like it, man. What year?
Yeah.
What years are we talking?
It was like 1990 through 94.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like 90 is, at least from my memory, okay, because I know like skateboarding hit big in like the 80s, but then it kind of fell off for a little while. Yeah. And you know, like I kind of feel like kind of after like the Bones Brigade, it kind of fell off a little bit.
Yeah.
It was all vert, right?
Yep.
And then like even 90, I don't even really think I'm thinking this is all on friggin' documentaries. but no, like it still wasn't kind of like the thing. But then like it was like 92-ish, probably, where street skating that's what kind of like became popular. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
So like, but man, Vision, like that was like the thing, dude. Like that was, so you were sponsored by Vision. Okay. So I'm probably going to make myself look like an idiot. Is Brian Keltz a name I should know?
No, I was just love wheels and everything back then. And, you know, even when I was a little bit younger, you know, before even all that happened, and I was just skating, you know, in the, you know, probably the late 80s, I should say. You know, my mom was taking me to competitions and everything, whether it was, you know, skateboarding or on bikes. And I didn't do a lot of street. I did a lot of ramp riding and stuff. I did a lot of quarter pipes, half pipes, stuff like that. So, and actually built some at the house.
Nice.
You know, and we had our friends come in and they had to sign waivers and stuff. And yeah, it was a good time back then, but there was no video games or anything. And I had a paper out, and I pretty much paid for everything myself. Nice. You know, if I wanted to go skating on a Friday or Saturday night, I had to go collecting and get my own money to go skating. So yeah, my parents brought me up well, you know. Yeah, I mean, it's just part of my life. And then after that, it was lowrider trucks and lowrider clubs. So, and crotch rockets, and, you know.
Yeah, I had a Gixxer. Yeah. I had it for like 2 years, and I don't think we'd be talking if I had it any longer than that, to be honest with you. But, so now it's funny you mentioned, you know, because you said, you know, your parents being really cool and letting you do this stuff. Because I distinctly remember there's like two types of parents like coming up, and there was like, absolutely like put a helmet on, no way, you know what I mean? Yep. Like whatever. And then I had like the Allaire's family, like you could build anything in their yard, man. They had rusty nail ramps, you know, they didn't care, man. We were pulling mattresses out, you know, trying to like, and yeah, so it was like kind of two separate things. And like you could not like you couldn't let certain parents know what was happening in certain places, right, man. It's really interesting. So wait a minute. So you're competing, you're sponsored. Is there, you know,
it was through Jarek's skateboard shop that we pretty much went through Vision and everything like that. So
did you compete against anyone that like we would know?
No, it was more like local and stuff like that around our area. like a
Brian,
place
Brian,
we
I'm giving you a
skate
chance.
down.
I'm giving you a chance to sound really cool right
Yeah.
now.
No, I didn't go to California and do all that stuff.
No.
It wasn't like anything like that, like a Tony Hawk thing or anything.
No, you weren't. You didn't teach like Christian Hosoi, the Christ Air, or anything
No,
like that.
it was nothing like that with the Bones Brigade or anything like that. So,
man, those are some incredible stories, man. That is a moment in time though where, you know, that's a thing too, man. Because like the skateboard was literally like what, like when did the 50s the skateboard come out?
yeah,
and it was just a toy. It was a toy.
Yep.
And so you actually went through from like the fishtail to like the double. Like, like you went through that
right
whole thing.
Right, it was right during that era.
Yeah, of that transition. So what was your favorite, like what was your favorite skateboard that you ever had?
I mean, I always skated, you know, the Vision Streetwear, you know, boards or whatever, but you know, I skated a lot of Tony Hawk boards, to be honest with you. Pau Peralta.
Okay.
Back then.
And in 1989, what are you wearing on your feet when you skate?
I was actually wearing Converse and then Airwalks.
Okay. I remember Airwalks like in the early 90s. That was like the first, that and Simple. I remember being like, you know, because prior to that, it was Vans or Converse.
Yeah, I was never into Vans, but I love Vans now. But yeah, it was had a lot of Airwalks.
Yeah, man. I remember. Yeah, man. I remember Airwalks. Wow. All right, cool. So you're like, but you get into the quad thing. So you're not an outdoor skater when it comes to quads.
No, not at all.
Not at all. And what is there a reason for that or?
I mean, I tried it and got hurt really bad a couple times going too fast on hills and stuff, hit rocks and tumbled over and stuff and scraped up myself pretty good. We used to go down Chicago and we used to just put on our outdoor wheels and just go all day long, go down to Navy Pier and, you know, jam skate for people and stuff, carry around the little boom box, you know, with the, you know, Duracell D batteries back then, you know, so, and
you're out there like Beat Street on skates.
Yeah. Well, that breakdancing was before skating. So
yeah, it was.
Did that one too. So,
well, and so that's another kind of evolution that you watched happen though, is where like jam skating, you know, which I think most people kind of associate that nomenclature kind of like with the b-boy aspect of roller skating. When was the first time you saw that, like that thing happening? At least in your area.
Like, yeah, I mean, it was probably, you know, late 80s and stuff like that. But I mean, we used to carry around the cardboard with the baby powder, you know, and, you know, just get down, break dance, you know, backspin, the windmill, you know, we used to do all that stuff back in the day. But I always did the roller skating too. So
nice. Yeah, my brother was a big time b-boy. He's older than I am. And I remember, yeah, man, he used to carry around this gray, I think it was a Sanyo. But it looked like a cool thing, but it really wasn't.
With the big speakers on it.
Yeah. He was such a paradox though, man, because like he would have that, but then the next day you'd see him and he'd have like this jean jacket with like, I don't know, like he'd just graffiti like Iron Maiden on the back of it with a Sharpie and mullet, you know what I mean? But then he'd be getting down to like Herbie Hancock, you know what I mean? Like, so, But I think that was a skate thing, like, because I don't think that we would have been into like the hip hop thing. At least I don't. That is just what kind of grabbed me at the rink. You know what I mean, like the R&B hip hop thing. But anyway, before we get into that, so like, what is your first home rink? Would you say?
My first home rink was Main Street USA in Romeoville, Illinois, which is now it's actually a body shop now.
Oh.
Yeah, they tore all down and now it's a body shop. Yeah, I think it's a Service King it's a Service King or Champion, something like that right now. But the last thing they did, because I service actually that account with my job, what I do, and the last thing they did, they said, was take down the big mirror ball.
Really?
They kept the mirror ball up in the middle, and that was the last thing they took down before they actually painted the ceiling around it and everything. Yeah.
So they had it up there like while they were operational for a while? No kidding.
No, not their operation, but they were doing the construction, they were doing the conversion.
Yeah. Okay.
And then that floor actually, Johnny from Linwood actually came and took out that floor, and he actually put it in his rink in Linwood, Illinois.
Okay.
Where Roll Bounce was filmed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that floor from Main Street USA, because it was a killer floor. I mean, it was fast, it was smooth. They took it all apart. He said, you can have it, come get it. They took it all apart and took it over there, and it's over there now because that used to be a concrete floor over there, and now it's wood.
That place that you mentioned that they filmed Roll Bounce at, in the movie, they call it Sweetwater? Is that what they call it in the movie?
Yeah, so they just named it Sweetwater, but it's actually Linwood Sports. Dome is actually what it's called, Sports Club. But they just named it Sweetwater, for the movie. Yeah, to be, have something cool, But he left up all the props, left off all the signs and everything. They got posters everywhere that it was filmed there.
Is that I'm sorry.
And then also Fleetwood Roller Rink. It was filmed actually in Illinois too. So they went back and forth between both of the rinks.
Okay.
When it was filmed.
So is that and you have to excuse my ignorance, are those pretty kind of significant rinks as far as the skate world goes, at least?
Yeah, Linwood was very well known. Fleetwood's really, really nice. They did a lot of the outside stuff at Fleetwood, and then they did more of the inside stuff, at Linwood. One of my buddies, JT, was actually in the movie. So,
no kidding.
Yeah.
Wait, who was he? I know the movie pretty well.
Yeah, he was one of the one that didn't talk or anything. He had the darker colored hair and stuff. He was the only one in that group that really didn't talk or anything like that. So,
but he was one of the villain guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They do that.
Yes.
And they just skate away.
Yep.
Oh man, I have to look and see. Okay, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Was there? Did you ever get tapped to potentially do something like that, or?
No, I worked there for a while and I DJ'd and everything. And then I left there to go run a rink actually in Coal City, Illinois called the Skate Place. And it flopped, unfortunately, because it was in the middle of a cornfield and it's not a very, very big town, but we tried to promote it and do as much as we can, or could at the time, I should say. But yeah, they didn't really reach. JT actually reached out to them and stuff, to be in the movie and everything. And then at the very, very end, they were all doing tricks and everything like that. Watch the, the credits and everything. So
that's cool. That's cool though, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
We're kind of jumping all over the place. I feel like I gotta hone in here, but
it's all right, man. No worries.
So okay, let's say but you're 12, 13-ish. Okay, what? The home rink though at that time is what again? What was the name?
It was Main Street USA Roller Rink in Romeoville.
Okay,
and my neighbors from up the way, we actually carpooled. So their dad would usually take us up there in the station wagon back then.
Okay, and
then my mom or dad would actually come pick us up, at night. Mostly my mom. So we kind of flip-flop and carpooled. But it didn't matter, man. If it was 11 o'clock at night, man, my mom was there picking me up. Even if I went there by myself, she would set an alarm, wake up, come pick me up. She would come in, watch me early and everything.
Yeah, man.
So, but yeah, we had lock-ins and stuff back then. They would lock the doors, $25 to get in. You skate from 7 to 7.
Oh, wow. That was, how often was that?
They probably did it every 3 months, quarterly.
Wow.
That was actually at Funway in Batavia and there. But $25, man, you got a free slice of pizza, you got drinks all night long, and you skated from 7 to 7, you could not leave there. Yep. And you had a permission slip sign and everything, like you're going on a field trip,
Yep.
Because I was 14, 15 years old and I was staying there all night, locked in, listening to skate music and
hell yeah, dude. We had it at New Year's Eve at my home rink where I grew up. It was New Year's Eve. You do 7 to 7, and I'd go all night. I mean, just without even a thought. But the same thing, it was once you're here, you're here.
Yeah.
And they never. I mean, we were real close to the owners and stuff, so I wouldn't get away with anything anyway. But but yeah, I mean, we did that once a year for New Year's, but that was always crazy. I remember because that was actually my first experience staying up an entire night.
Okay.
And I remember because I was probably, I don't know, 10 the first time I did it, 10 or 11. But I remember just we had a refinished basement at the time, and I totally thought I was cool. I'm oh yeah, I'm just going to go downstairs, watch TV. I think I passed out till 8 o'clock that night or something like that. It's great. But man, All right, so this place, this first rink, is this the place where? Because I was talking to Lacey, and I promise, like, we
Mm-hmm.
won't talk about talk about her a bunch, but she was saying about how she went to this one rink and would see you and thought, oh, he's so cute, and because you were doing your thing, like with everybody else, like because I
Yeah.
think for her it was like she had never saw this kind of synchronized kind of
No,
stuff
because
happening.
in Springfield they didn't skate that way at all. So, no, that was actually at a rink called Coach Light in Rose, Illinois. That's where I DJ'd last
Okay,
month.
okay.
But yeah, I mean, we love to go there. We were always skating, man. It was Tuesday, Wednesday. The only night we were off: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. So Monday was the only day we didn't skate.
It sounds like
Yeah.
you have a lot of rinks too. Kind of like how many rinks would you say like are in like a 50-mile radius when you're growing up?
Well, that's tricky because as soon as I turned 15 and my buddy turned 16 and got his license, we didn't hang around here. We would drive 3 to 4 hours just to go to Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan, just to go outside and, venture out and explore new rinks and, but I would say probably within 50-mile radius, probably 10 or 12.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's decent, man.
Yeah.
And would you say it's still like that now or no?
Yeah, some of them closed down. Like I was mentioning,
Yeah.
some of them have actually slowed down a lot.
But that's still a lot though, man. I mean, like, because I think like, down in Georgia, you know what I mean? Where I was talking to T and Kojak and it was like saying like, you can't swing a dead cat down here without hitting a rink. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Right.
it seems like in the Midwest though, man, there is a lot going on. Now, how much did you skate Chicago?
I skated a lot Chicago actually.
Yeah.
I really, really like started getting, like big into it when I was 14, 15. And my older friends, like I said, they had cars and everything. And then we could, not rely on our parents as much. And then we could just travel and we could just go, wherever we wanted and just skate and have a good time and hang out with friends and, enjoy it.
So did you ever get into the JB thing?
I never got into the JBRB thing. It was always jam skating in the middle with the spinning and the dancing, in the middle and, the freestyle skating, shuffle skating on the outside.
Yeah.
And, I mean, back then we even had, a line of people doing, routines and everything, people from Funway and everything like that and Main Street, I'd follow around trying to keep it up with the big dogs, you know what I mean? And they were, 19, 20 years old and here's this 15-year-old. I mean, I felt like Chase Gates, trying to keep up with them.
Yeah.
Learn their routines and everything like that. But I finally did and they welcomed me in and, it's just times have changed since then, for sure.
Would you have considered like yourself, like, were you like in a skate crew at any point during this time coming up?
Yeah, I was in a skate crew. That's when Lacey saw me when we were at Coach Light for the first time. So yeah, we had 5 or 6 of us that would travel all over the place. We were all around the same age, some a little bit older, some my age. But yeah, and we were, like I said, we were doing routines and shuffle skating, back then and doing all the middle stuff. And
you guys all rocking the same shirt and everything? Like you got like a team vibe?
The shirts and everything, actually, that's something new to me when I actually got back into the skate scene here, when I started to, see all the crews and everything like that. But no, I've never actually witnessed that or seen that, until I moved here to Tennessee and started exploring, outside of Tennessee and going to all these events.
Yeah. The first time I saw it was early 90s. I played roller hockey, like international rule roller hockey.
Okay.
Not on inline with a hockey stick, but like on quads. They have like, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it has like a curved wooden stick.
Yeah.
So I played for the Maine Bulldogs, and the first time we ever traveled for a tournament, we went down to Delaware, and I don't remember the name of the rink. I remember it being huge, but I was really small. So, but I remember the first time. It's so funny, man. Like, cause I'm talking like, this is like this is like the time frame that like Back to the Hotel is literally released. Right. Like, and
right.
And I remember there's these 3 dudes and, these big baggy jeans on, but they all had like these yellow tees and we had been playing tournament style that whole day. And when we were done, I went back to the hotel, but we knew there's going to be a session that night. So we wanted to come back and skate. We walk in and I see these 3 dudes doing this thing, man, out there, but this completely like synced up, closed, like the whole 9. And I just was like, oh, that's dope, dude. Like, that's the craziest thing ever. These kids were sick with it, man. They were probably like 15, you know what I mean? But they were sick with it. But yeah, man, that was the first time I ever saw that. It very much different than like the t-shirt thing I see now. It's not the same. Like, they were like, that was like their crew. Like, they weren't just like handing t-shirts out. Like, this is like their family, you know, kind of thing. It's almost like a break crew, basically. And that's how when I started seeing, like, when I came back, it was so funny. I was just talking to Ed and Ray about this. When I came back and I started seeing like these crew t-shirts, I automatically associated it with that. I was like, oh, that's like a crew. Like, they go out and battle each other and stuff.
Yeah.
But in the shuffle scene, it's not like that at all. It's just, we have a t-shirt. You want a t-shirt? Like, be a rink rat, be an 850, you know, which is cool. It's cool. It's just, it's so different than when I was a kid. But
me too.
Yeah. So now, like, you have this crew that you're rolling with, and like, so you have like routines that you're like, how often are you working on this stuff as a kid coming up?
Oh, me and my buddy Andy, we actually worked on it a lot because he actually worked at Funway.
Okay.
So I would actually have my mom drop me off there Saturday in the daytime just so him and I could practice.
So
and with, you know, a couple other people as well. But they don't really skate anymore. So, but yeah, I mean, I was there, you know, Saturday in the daytime, and then we would go, you know, Saturday at night.
So,
you know,
so you and like one other kid were basically kind of like figuring this stuff out, and then you were like teaching like the rest of the guys, like, hey, this is that kind of thing.
Yep. Him and I would piggyback off each other. That's why him and I, when we meet up and we skate together, you know, he's like, oh, do you remember that 16 tap we used to do? You know, or do you remember, you know, the way what we used to do back in the day? Like, we have to remind each other because we forgot how to do them, you know, and then one person started doing it, be like, oh yeah, now I remember, you know. But yeah, we were actually doing that back in the day. So
what's funny is that although the term was freestyle, it kind of was not very freestyle. Like, I mean, it was very, because the average person, when you hear the term freestyle, they think of kind of happy accident, you know, free form, whatever. But like, and not to say that none of that is happening. I mean, but you have like set routines. Like, did you just like call out a number or something like that? Did you have it? Was it based on songs?
More, not the number, more just the routine name.
Okay.
You know, like we're going to, you know, 16 tap, you know, so, or, you know, something like that, like the wave, or, you know, bounce back, or, you know, front back forward spin, you know. I mean, there's so many of them. I mean, I forgot a lot of them, but, you know, me and Lacey are, you know, she did her routines. I did my routines. We're bringing them back. You know, we do some of hers. We do some of, you know, mine back in the day. So, but yeah, she's, love her to death, and she's, you know, an awesome skate partner.
Oh, hell yeah, man. So now some of these terms that you're throwing out there, these are things that other skaters are just going to know, like these terms that you're.
No, just our crew.
Okay.
Just our crew from back in the day. We just know these terms, you know, of what we're calling out. So, yep.
Cool. This is this kind of stuff that like would always like. I think I was talking to Lacey about this. Is when I first came back. I was like, I felt like everyone went to skate college. And like, and I had barely gotten my skate GED, you know what I mean? Like, I just was out there, like, just like, you know, in Pennsylvania, man, I felt like a freak. Like, nobody was like, everyone was very synchronized and very, you know, so it was just so different. But
and it seems like, you know, your music era was kind of different than ours. Like, I think the reason why they called it freestyle was because it was mostly freestyle music and house music back then.
Yeah.
There was no hip hop or anything. You know, there was no, you know, transitioning songs. We didn't have like a DJ that really transitioned a lot of songs or mixed a lot of songs together.
Same here.
It was all freestyle and house music.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that's why they call it freestyle. But, you know, I did hear people call it shuffle skating when we started skating outside of Illinois, you know, especially like, you know, Indiana, people were calling it shuffle skating and everything. So
the other term I heard, I guess in the 80s, early 90s, people referred to it. I think it's all the same thing, but disco skating, or Corey
I've heard that.
Corey Gower talks about that. Like that's what they
Mm-hmm.
used to call it where he came up. It was all shuffle, but they just called it disco, and mainly based on the people that were the elder statesmen at the rink they were getting down to disco when they were doing it, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, it's funny. It's so crazy, man. I mean, our rink is like the rink I grew up in was just it was a complete departure from like any kind of standard rink experience that you think of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's Maine in general. You go up to Maine, you skate Maine, you're going to hear Black Velvet, AC/DC, Technotronic, and you're going to hear like, it's not like you're going to hear like this heavy metal, like this rock set, you know, like 4 or 5 songs and then a hip, like, no, it's all, you know, and same thing. Nobody was mixing. Like so I became a DJ later in life, way outside of the rink. When I worked at a rink, all I did was play music, if that makes sense. Is that how it was for you too?
Yes. It was all playing music. Didn't even start DJing until 1995.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So, all right. So we're going to circle back to that, but, so is there a point where you, like veered away from skating at all? Kind of like took some time off, or were you just always into it?
No, I got into motocross for a while.
Nice.
And I shattered my collarbone doing motocross racing and stuff, and I had to take some time off of that for a while. So, and we did the ice racing too. We put the studs in the tires in the winter. You know, we would go round and round and round, you know, on motorcycles, you know, and you know, same thing, you know, in the summertime, we'd be out on the dirt, you know, hitting it.
So never a speed skater?
I was never ever a speed skater. No. I like to go fast, but I was never a speed skater.
Yeah.
You know, and like after sessions and stuff, we would play like hockey and stuff on quads. You know, we'd set up the nets and have our sticks or whatever, but never really got into that too much either. I was, you know, mostly, I just love listening to the music. You know, it's just, I feel the beat, I feel the music, you know, and not really the hockey stick. So,
well, you know, and as I was going to ask you about that, because the only other, you know, I mean, like, people that talk like you or talk like Canadians, a lot of times it's not a far departure to know that they played hockey at some point. So you're never a hockey player out there in the Midwest?
No, never a hockey player.
So, man, tell me what is like, okay, I know I have to get there. It's all on me. But, man, it seems like there is some amazing stuff happening in Wisconsin as far as skating goes. Am I crazy? Like, is Wisconsin like, is it like a best kept secret, or just that I'm just too ignorant to even know about it?
No, I mean, like I said, I always traveled to Wisconsin and Indiana were really big for skating, you know, back in even, you know, the 90s, 2000s for me. So
like Waukesha, right? Isn't that like that dude? So do you know Aaron Bardwell?
Yes.
Dude,
I mean, I met him. I know of him, but yes, he's awesome skater.
Oh my God, dude! Now is that like that style? Because I've seen videos of him skating with a few other people. Like, but is that like a typical style that is out there, or is
I think he's really unique. I'd say that's his own style. Yep, just like, you know, I mean, you're unique. You have your own style. You know what I mean? He reminds me of kind of you skating.
No, stop all that. No, that dude is a freak, man. He's incredible. We're actually going back and forth on getting him on here. But on top of being like a elite speed skater, you know what I mean, out there.
Yeah.
So, but you guys go to that event out there, right? Didn't you go to one recently?
Yeah, we went to one recently. He was in the Indianapolis one. And yeah, he was there too. He has those long legs, man, so he can just go and go and go and go, you know. But yeah, I mean, I love watching him skate. He has a great style, you know, of his own skating, you know. Yeah,
it was the second event I ever went to. Was one of the flying events where I saw him. Actually, I saw him at Beachmont the first night, and I just was like,
who is that guy?
Just doing this. I was like a cat watching like a ping pong tournament. You know what I mean? Just because as soon as he's go by, he was right back again. You know what I mean? Like,
he's fast,
but funky, dude. Just funky. Like, oh my God. So yeah. Anyway, like
kind of like Brandon. Him and Brandon.
That's that lengthy, one in a million, you know. And look, everyone, I know this is redundant and repetitive. Everyone hears me say this. My favorite people to watch are the ones that cannot be mistaken for anyone else. Like, you put them behind a screen. Oh, there goes Brandon Nix. Oh, there goes Aaron Bardwell. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree.
Oh, dude. Both of those guys. And oh man, Brandon Nix. You couldn't meet a nicer guy. Oh
no, he's great.
Oh, sweet dude. So who are there people that stand out in your mind though? Because I know, like, when I was a kid, I mean, my big brother was like kind of like the measuring stick for me, I guess, to a degree. He was like, because I was Mike Vachon's little brother. It was Mackie Vachon. Oh, it's Mackie Vachon. It's Mike Vachon's little brother.
Yeah.
And which was cool because I'd be like 10 sitting on some 16-year-old girl's lap. You know what I mean?
Yep.
This is horrible. But anyway, so but like there were other skaters though that I'd be like, oh man, that dude. Are there people that you remember being like that stand out in your mind as being like, man, I want to do what that guy does?
Yeah, there was a guy, Doug Fulkerson, that skated at Main Street USA all the time, and I kind of wanted to, be like him back in the day. And he was a crazy skater, really good at routines and stuff, could spin forever in the middle, jam skate like nobody I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
That was my idol back then, and now he doesn't even skate anymore or anything, you get married, family and everything gets in the way, you get older and your joints don't work as well as they used to. So
what was the age difference there? Like when you're really like, oh, that dude's the man. Like
he's 5 years older than me.
So was he cool with you though? Like was he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He would take me in the middle and he would show me stuff and he would show me routines and oh yeah, yep.
Nice.
Him and my one of my really good friends, Brian Stranisha. He actually worked at a roller skating rink right down the street from us called Rollsy's Roller Skate back then, and him and I used to go there all the time. And we used to skate there and then change our wheels and then skate in the inside. So, but he's another one who, basically took me under his wing, taught me how to skate, be on beat, be on rhythm, to the beat of the music, just feel it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it'd be Doug Fulkerson and Brian Stranisha would be the two I would actually go to.
Nice. What was like, let's say like, teen years, right? Like 15, 16, 17. Like what's your setup? What are you rolling on?
Rydell 195 Grand Prix boot with a laser Nikon plate, with Fanguard Fanjet wheels. All right. And Bones bearings. Fafner bearings back then. Bearings.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice. So yeah, it was like, it was just in our they just always German bearings.
Yep.
and we packed like they packed their like we'd always pack our bearings. I don't think anyone really does that anymore.
No, they don't.
Like at all.
Nope.
But I had zingers. You remember zingers?
I had zingers back in the day too when I was younger.
Yeah,
but
man.
When you were talking about the age, I was in more like a Rydell, Grand Prix and stuff, and then I got up to a 595 in that way. But my first skate was a Chicago skate. I ordered out of the J.C. Penney catalog, man.
Yep.
J.C. Penney catalog and got them for Christmas. Those Chicago skate.
Those vinyl wonders, baby. Like
I'll never forget it. Yep.
Did you have the blue laces, blue wheels?
No, Mine was a black boot with black wheels, and of course, I did change. I think I had bright yellow neon laces back then.
Yeah.
But remember the jump bars?
Yeah, man.
I had a jump bar on there. Yep, came out right out of the J.C. Penney catalog, and that was my first. That was my first speed skate.
So, wait. So wait, your Chicago was a speed boot.
Yeah, it was actually called a Chicago speed boot. Yeah, Chicago. Yeah, Chicago actually made the boots. They made the plates. They made even the wheels said Chicago, and had the jump bar. Like I said, you could just order speed skates right out of the J.C. Penney catalog back then.
No, see, I had my first, like the first pair I ever got were, all in one Chicago, but it was a high boot with a heel.
Okay. Yeah.
Everything was Chicago on it. In my rink, see, nobody had speed boots. That was not a thing that happened ever. The matter of fact, the thing to do, like, was when you graduated from your vinyl to like a leather boot. And then the suede boots, like Dominion suede boots, got really, really popular too. They're still super popular in New England. You probably heard me talk about this. Like, as a whole style of skate, like, and it like the back break on one of your skates.
Yeah.
It's like a whole thing. It's just crazy because I remember like in the late 80s when I was real young, and I'd see these dudes like 17, whatever, like with this crazy suede setup, tongue tied down, back break, bones, wheels. And now I look and I see this 13-year-old kid up at Happy Wheels in Portland, Maine, doing the same exact thing. It's crazy. It's just, some things never die, man. It's just a culture thing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, remember the Zinger wheels, man, with the pink and the black? You could get the two-tone back then.
I had the green and the black.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Dude, and I had one, man, I think they're around here somewhere. I mean, it is as coned as cone could be. Like, almost nothing, dude. The other thing that, like, so I think I've seen one set, and that somebody still had like the decals on them. Do you ever see boomerang wheels? Boomerangs?
No, never.
Super soft. They had that hub with like all like the different size holes in it, kind of like a fan jet, but it was like a vinyl hub, plastic hub. But we used those. They were super soft. We used them for our drill team because we would do parades and all that kind of stuff. With our local rink, like in 1990, 91, my sister was choreographing everything to Whitney Houston. So we looked awesome. I'm not even kidding. How will I know? My sister had like 3 routines to that friggin' song.
Yep. I was circling around back to that because what you said about, like the OG boots back then.
Yeah.
You wouldn't find those in any of the rinks where we skated.
No?
Everybody had a speed boot.
Everyone had speed boots.
Everybody had a speed boot. There's not one person that had an OG boot back then. And they were all, line skating, shuffle skating, jam skating back then. There was no RB, no JB. I have nothing against RB or JB. I love the way they skate. I love the way, they bop to the music and everything. And everybody just kind of has their own niche, in music and what they love to skate to. So, but just me growing up in my era, I was around it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, that's look, if that was if everyone was rocking speed boots at my rink, that's what I would have been rocking. I mean, like, this is the way it was, it's just, no, it was not a thing, man. The only time I ever got one was when I ended up playing roller hockey. Cause I showed up. Cause like the guy that owned our rink, Bob, he had, known this guy way up Maine, way up north. He owned this rink up in Livermore Falls, and he was the one that coached and recruited for the Maine Bulldogs. And he said, well, I got this kid down here, he plays ice hockey. He's pretty fast on quads. You should come check him out. Now, the other thing was I was undersized for my age, and I was also younger than everybody. But, the parents drove me like 3.5 hours upstate to go, check this thing out, practice, try out, whatever. And I show up with these leather boots. And these dudes are looking at me like, because they all had speed boots, man. Like, and they're all. And here's the other thing: they look like they'd been through Nam, dude. Like their boots were so. And you have to understand, I was polishing my skates like every 2 weeks, dude. Like,
yeah, me too.
Oh, I love doing it. So they were
getting out the Q-tips.
Yeah, they're like, who is this loser with these awesome figure skates? Like get out of here, bro. Like,
and they come in with this broken out boot and stuff, nice and comfortable, like they're wearing a pair of gym shoes.
I have these soft ass boomerang wheels, man. They're just screeching the floor up every stride, with these whatever would be comparable to like VFHs at the time, probably. But man, that wasn't gonna work at all.
Right.
So, but other than that, but when I wasn't playing hockey, I was back on my other boot, man. Like just what it was. The other thing was, what's funny? I can't remember when I got my first leather boot that lasted me basically forever. I don't think I changed my cushions once. Like for years, dude, for years.
Me neither.
But I have to change mine all the time now. I think it's just because I'm way fatter. You know what I mean? It's got to be what it is, man.
No, you just got to adjust to what you're skating now.
Dude, well, so that I literally just before I got on with you, I did like a quick little live on TikTok and recorded something to unboxing because I just received my Arius.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Double action. I bet you're excited, aren't you?
So, dude, I've only ever been on a 45 my entire life. Even when I got back into it, the first setup I had was a 45, but I went and I got the Reactor Pro, which is a 10, and that was an adjustment. But I mean,
you're gonna have a big adjustment now.
Well, yeah, but I know that it's way more for me. Because it's such a 50-50 split on people that people are either like, oh, best thing I ever skated, or they're like, oh, it's the most overhyped piece of crap ever. Da, da, da. and so what's funny about it though is that in that 50-50 split, anybody that that really swears by it, they kind of they require the kind of same action that I do in my truck.
Yeah.
So I just think it's kind of a no brainer. I've always wanted to get back on a 45 regardless, ever since I got, I had to go to Ron Murray just to get cushions hard enough because I like to keep them on that 10 degree, I have to keep them so loose that if I didn't have a hard ass cushion, man, I was blowing through them, dude. So
yeah, because you do a lot of action skating, a lot of turning and stuff too. So
yeah, my ankles just fold. They just roll.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's all it is, man. So so do you consider yourself like a shuffle skater or a jam skater more, or you don't even subscribe to any of that?
My right knee is really starting to give out really bad. So I'm not doing a lot of metal work, a lot of spinning. Like I was before. I mean, I might go in there and just mess around a little bit, but as soon as I feel my knees start to tweak, I'm out, but back in the day, I used to do a lot of jam skating, a lot of spinning in the middle. But mostly shuffle, line skating right now. And, I didn't skate a lot at, Texas because my knee was really bothering me.
Okay.
And actually USA shuffle too. I didn't skate very much because my knee was bothering me. So I need to find a workaround from that and, get my butt into the doctor and figure out what's going on with that whole mess. Cause, I definitely don't want to stop skating. And even if I have to wear something on my knee, I'm good with that for a while.
Yeah. Did you find going through treatment that had impacted you at all, your body to a certain degree for skating, or?
I feel like it did.
Yeah.
The medicine and stuff that was, going through my body and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I had some cortisone shots done and it didn't make a difference at all.
Oof.
I felt like it just dried it out,
okay.
And actually made it a little bit worse. And my left one is not near as bad as my right one, but my right one, it really kills. Like I can't even get through a session unless I'm on, 800 milligram of ibuprofen or something, or Advil, just to take out the inflammation.
Yeah.
And not feel the pain as much. So, yeah, that's where I'm kind of at, and then I have Lacey, don't do this, don't do that. You know what I mean? It's not worth hurting yourself. I'm like, I love to do it back then though, but yeah. We're not built like we were back then. So
man, so when other than just being a little bigger, when I got back into it, it was so funny. Cause I was like, man, I don't feel limited at all. I don't, now maybe it could have been the last 20 years of me just getting used to being whatever, but but then when I fractured my ankle and then it took a while. One, it would swell every time I skated for 6 months, which, but even now, every once in a while, I feel like this, that doesn't feel, I tell you what, man, K-tape works.
I have that too.
Oh, yep. Dude, it works, man. I went and there's these, you can go on YouTube and you can they just do these tutorials of how to tape certain things, joints, you know what I mean? These athletic trainers put these tutorials up and
yeah,
man, dude, that made the biggest difference for me as I was healing. That stuff, I mean, I don't know how it is on knees, but on my ankle, it was the best thing ever.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to look into that. I was told the same thing. It even tells you and teaches you how to tape it, so you don't feel it as much,
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Cause it kind of feels gimmicky. When I first saw it on athletes, I was like, what is that? If that's not an icy hot patch, bro, there's nothing happening. Right. That's what I would think. But yeah, cause you can, like you put it down with a certain amount of tension and then you stretch it for more tension and then you
Yep.
tape that part down and then you let off tension, tape. It works, man. It's crazy. It's so crazy. So you got into DJing, like you were a DJ, like you were playing music at the rink, but you said there was a period of time though where you kind of transitioned from just playing music to like DJing. Like when?
Yeah, I was doing
that?
I was doing clubs and stuff like that. Yeah, back in 98, 99, 2000, 2001, stuff like that. And then, you know, on the side I never did any weddings, you know, but I heard DJ Jams and Mayhems, you know, I listened to their podcasts. But
I was bitching about it the most.
yeah, I did do like, you know, like events and stuff like, you know, like 50th, you know, anniversaries and stuff for people, 25th anniversaries. I even did, you know, some friends' kids' birthday parties and whatnot. But I never ever did any weddings or anything like that, but mostly like clubs and, you know, rinks and stuff like that. So
I see Brian Keltz in the 90s DJing at a club and it's house music. Am I right?
House music. Yeah. A lot of house music and Euro music back then.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You're on 1200s?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yep. Techniques 1200s back then. That was kind of like the transition where it was like vinyl and CD at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, so you had your, you know, your CDJs back then. And that's mostly what I got into back then. It transitioned. I was right in the transition period, and CDs are so much easier than lugging around all the crates and stuff. So it was mostly CDs.
Yeah. So
back then,
were you still DJing when like the time code vinyl came, like Serato or like Tractor, anything like that?
Yeah. It was just coming into it, and I'm more of a virtual DJ person because that's what I went to, and I tried Serato and all that stuff, but I started on virtual DJ. I love virtual DJ. I feel like it's a lot easier, you know, to go through and to, you know, make playlists and crates and stuff like that. And then I have nothing against Serato. You know, I know a lot of people use Serato and they love Serato.
Yeah.
But I'm just a little bit different, you know, and I grew up and that's what I always, you know, loved to use was virtual DJ, and I still use it to this day. So
would you consider yourself a turntablist?
No, not at all. Nope.
A mixed DJ.
Yep.
So you're not cutting it up back there?
Just transitioning music, you know, different, you know, songs, different genres and stuff, and, you know, transitioning, you know, one song into another song, you know, on the same BPM, on the same beat and everything. So, yep.
So Brian's not back there like the invisible scratch pickles. Just
No. I really never got into the scratching, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, a bunch of my buddies and stuff did it, you know, while I was playing, they'd be scratching in the background and stuff, you know, which I didn't mind. That's fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I never really got into scratching or anything like that. It was mostly just, you know, mixing, transitioning music. So.
Well, it's funny because I mean, like the DMC, the DMC competition used to just be about straight mixing. You know what I mean? Like that's all it was, and then all of a sudden it became a scratch competition. You know, somewhere
what it was in Chicago.
Yeah,
yep.
It was pure. That I mean, it was house like mixing, blending. It would like man. It was like, and then I don't know, somewhere in the night, like what mid 90s.
Yep.
It's kind of just. Yeah, all of a sudden, man, people just, and then it became all the body tricks. You know what I mean? Of like, just like all this, their head. You know what I mean?
Turn down, arm underneath the leg. You know, turn backwards.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's. I mean, you know, impressive. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, because I think it like kind of transitioned. Like it was like this mixing, and then juggling became like a thing, beat juggling, and then all of a sudden, man, it just went crazy, just cutting like nuts. Like, it doesn't even resemble.
They're just cutting loose.
Yeah, man. Because I had that Techniques mixer, that 2-channel mixer.
Okay.
Did you ever have one of those? I had that.
I actually was a Denon person back then. Denon 800s.
Okay.
So yeah,
man, I had that, and I had the Vestax PMC, like that 2-channel. I used to like have to like I learned this from watching like a Qbert video, but he'd like he'd cut up little pieces of credit card and he'd stick them on either end of his fader inside, and that would like let it bounce back more. You know, never quite worked as well as he did. Maybe he was just awesome.
All the tricks.
Dude, I used to carry a fader around with me, like in my
Oh,
pocket.
wow.
Like,
you were hardcore.
Dude. I turn this camera around, you'll see the setup. But I used to carry. So yeah, but it was messed up though, because like literally they like called me down to the office one day. They thought I was like in my pocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had to be like, no, I swear to God, it's this.
It's a fader.
I'm trying to practice my crabs, dude. Like, give me a break. They're like, what crabs? What are you talking about now? Like, and I'm like, no. It get worse and worse. But yeah, man, that's all I was thinking about was trying to do like 3-click flares and just trying to figure all that out, man.
Yep.
Oh, it just wasn't built for it. Like, yeah, but I love doing it. It was, for me, it was my brother was a B-boy, and like I got introduced to like hearing DST scratch.
Yeah.
And for a couple of years not knowing what that was until I saw it on TV. And then I just scratched the crap out of my mom's collection. Got grounded for like 2 weeks. Bought I bought my first turntable, my first Techniques, and had like a busted tone arm I had to get fixed. And so yeah, man, I just wanted to do that so bad. It was just my era. That was my era,
Yep.
So, anyway, so you're DJing the club thing, you're DJing the rink thing. Now, did you just kind of recently start DJing rinks again?
Yeah, so my knee really started bothering me and everything, and the more events and stuff I went to, and listening to Mayhem and Jams and Silver, and Silver, plays, a lot of hip hop, and I mean, he does play freestyle and stuff like that, but I mean, he mixes it, all well together and stuff. And then you have Mayhem, that, plays freestyle music, and, he also plays, that stuff as well. Electro funk, house or whatever. And then, 125, 126 beats per minute. And then you have Jams over here playing 130 beats per minute, and so I'm just like, I was just listening to all them and, watching every people skate, and they love skating their music. And I'm like, why can't I just give them all three, and take that music and mix it all together and give everybody what they love to hear and, like to skate to. So, I mean, I just recently, got back into it and, got some equipment and just been going from there, and then it's just word of mouth that's just spreading, and I've DJ'd at Brentwood a couple times, and I'm doing Maryville with Chris Atkins every month, and then I got an event coming up in Indiana, and there's a couple other things we got working. So, but I'm very, very excited about it.
What's the event in Indiana? Let everybody know.
It's the Franklin Skate Club in Franklin, Indiana,
okay,
with the Franklin Skate Crew. It's Huggy Bears area and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yep.
And
I've been dealing with the owner Jerry there, and him and I, been working very well together. And that one's going to be at the end of May.
Yes. Okay.
So, yep.
Everybody, go check it out.
Yeah. And then got Maryville this Saturday night. From 10 to 12:30. So a lot of people come from out of town, drive 3-4 hours, get a hotel and everything. Which I greatly appreciate.
Yeah, man. So people are feeling though this
we got people coming from Georgia, man. Yep.
Hell yeah, man.
Yep. Brian Melissa came 5 hours down from North Carolina last month.
Man.
So
you guys making me look like a slacker. You know what I mean? So wait, where's Marysville?
Maryville, Tennessee. It's Alcoa. It's about 40 minutes outside of the Smoky Mountains.
Okay.
Yep.
That means
it's a great rink, great owner. Can't say anything, better about the owner. They're just so loving, and they're just anything you need, man. They're there for you. They're great owners. Chris Atkins and his wife. Can't say anything, better about them. There's great people.
How far of a drive is that for me?
That's quite a bit. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes for me. So
okay. Yeah, it takes me like 11 hours to get to like Sparkles, basically.
How long?
Like 11 hours.
11 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably looking about 8.
Oh, that's not. Oh, so it's closer.
Yeah, you're probably looking about 8.
Oh yeah. Anyway, I drive through Tennessee.
Yeah. I mean, you're in Georgia. It's on our side of Tennessee. So yeah, you might be 8 or 9, something like that. Yep.
I got to figure it out. There's still these places I want to skate, man. Like
Yeah.
this is something I talked to some people about where, although there's a lot of downsides to, I can kind of get like, oh man, all this time I miss skating, just adulting and all that crap. But now too, though, it's like, I still have all these firsts left to do where I could have, like, those could have been long gone. You know what I mean? Had I not stepped away. And now, like, especially now I have a different appreciation for it. So
Yeah.
all these firsts I get, man, still like these rinks that I, are still bucket list and all that. Is there a rink? Is there a rink for you? Is there a bucket list rink that you haven't hit that you want to hit more than anything?
I really want to do skate reflections. I haven't done that one yet. No.
Yeah, you do.
We're gonna Lacey and I are gonna take a trip out to Florida. Maybe not, for the Memorial Day event or whatever, and we're just gonna kind of make a little vacation out of it, and we're gonna have our own, skatecation.
Yeah, man. No, that's cool.
And we're gonna head up a bunch of those rinks, in Miami and Palm Beach and all over in the Florida area. So I'm really looking forward to doing that.
Well, Skate Like You is going to be doing something at Skate Reflections, so keep your
awesome.
Yeah, man. But I totally hear what you're saying though, because I love going to events, but I also love like going like back to like those rinks, like when like just for like their sessions, just to kind of experience what is it like here on a typical night. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like it's something about that. Like I went and just skated Buford one time, like just on one of their adult sessions. You know what I mean? Like Kate's in Gastonia, I did the same thing. Yeah, man. Just like what is the vibe really like here? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's cool to experience that stuff.
I've been to Kate's. I love Kate's. I'll go back anytime.
Man, they had that RITC there, dude. That was packed, man. Did you see any video from that?
I did not know.
Woo! That floor was just because a bunch of cats I know from Maine, Dale from Skate New England, and a few other people that skate Happy Wheels. They all went down to RITC. And my God, that like I don't know what night, one of the nights in particular, it was just like shoulder to shoulder.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
you can't even skate if it's that busy. Yeah. You just roll.
It's crazy. Man. It's crazy. But all right, man. So okay, like with you could have like maybe it's not a bucket list rink, but like I'm gonna kind of cheat here and ask you a question that people have asked me before. Because I'm so interested though, because you've been to so many rinks, DJ'd, you've done, all this stuff. If you could have like, let's just say it was like maybe even a 2-night event, like what rink would you put it at? Who would be in the booth besides yourself? Right. Not saying that, like, yeah, like where would it be? What would be like the absolute must situation for you? Dream scenario.
Well, definitely Brentwood here. It's a beautiful rink.
Okay.
If you've never been, I highly recommend you visiting it. DJ Nick is actually there every Thursday. For just, an adult night, throws it down, of course, but him and I are actually talking about, having an event there and DJing, that. And there's also a couple other rinks, Smyrna and Rivergate, that are actually pretty much like the same rink. The 3 rinks were built around, the same platform. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to have one, maybe at Smyrna one night and then one at Brentwood another night. And we want to do, an event weekend night here in Tennessee, because there's never, been one around this area, around the Nashville area. Mm-hmm. And we want to bring it out here. And we were waiting for Lacey to move here permanently to actually get that one going. So it's been talked about. It's not in the works yet, but it definitely will be. I talked to, the owner and stuff and everything. So we're gonna get something worked out.
Nice, man. Well, I will definitely be there for that, man.
Yep.
And congratulations to you too. Yes, yeah, because she's moving down like now, right? Like basically as we speak almost.
Yeah, she'll be here probably tomorrow afternoon. Wow. For good. Wow. Yep.
Anything better?
Bringing the rest of it. I just gave her my SUV and said, go drive it. And, she has friends there to help her out and help load up her clothes, what she had. And she's gonna visit her parents tonight, and then she's on her way tomorrow for good.
And from what I remember talking to her about, like, because you guys have known each other for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And she crushed on you a little bit. You crushed her, like,
yeah, ever since she was 19 years old. Yep.
No kidding. And just, look, man, I mean, if it's meant to be, right?
Yeah.
It's when I tell you what, when you need to hear, like if you're ever, when people are in that situation, when they actually need to hear, if it's meant to be, it'll be. It's like the worst thing you could ever hear, though, like in that moment. But it's true, though, man. It really, really is, you know?
Yeah.
It's, oh, man. I'm so happy for you guys. That's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot.
So is it kind of weird when people like say like, oh, it's the skate king and queen and all that kind of stuff? Is it kind of straight? Is it kind of weird?
No, it's not really weird. We kind of grown used to it or whatever, but it's just, I mean, we just skate to have fun and, you know, be with each other and, you know, do our routines and everything. You know, because there's no other really skate couples that are doing it. I mean, you got Corey and his crew, you know, but there's no really skate couples that are doing what her and I are doing. So, you know, it's kind of cool to have that together, you know, and be able to share that. And then, you know, of course, skating outside, you know, but yeah, I mean, we enjoy it. We enjoy more just getting up and going for a skate day, going out to dinner, going to a new rink we haven't been to. Yeah. And just checking out their, you know, their session, you know.
Nice.
It's really cool for us to do stuff like that. And we really enjoy it.
Cool. Let me ask you this. I haven't asked this question in a while to anybody, but I wonder what your insight is. You might not even have an opinion on this or whatever, but what would be one thing that maybe like that you would want to see better or improved just as far as our skate culture and community? What do you think? Do you have an opinion? Do you have any thoughts on that at all? Or
I mean, just sharing the rink where you're at, you know, and just being courteous to everybody, you know, no drama, of course, you know, and stay far away of dramas, you know, as much as you possibly can, you know, you know, and like you brought up the skate, you know, the skate crews and the shirts and stuff before. I love what they do. I really do, you know, but I just don't see myself getting involved because I'm be like, well, if you're going to be in that skate crew, why don't you want to be in our skate crew? And that, you know, that then you start that whole thing, you know, with the t-shirts and everything.
It's so weird.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just, you know, I mean, spread love to everybody, basically everywhere you skate and everywhere you go, you know, and we're all there just to skate and have a good time, you know, when it comes down to at the end, you know, when you're there and especially at the end of the night. So,
and the way to always avoid controversy and drama is just buy a Skate Like You shirt. I mean, like that's
there you go. I have mine. It says BK on the back.
Oh, I'm playing, but all right, man. Yeah, dude. Like, no, I feel that, man. So when did you get into the event thing, like the shuffle event thing?
So when I moved here, I was coming out of a breakup, and I started actually. I was having a really hard time moving. My kids just moved, so. I was actually going to counseling for a little bit. I'm not, you know, scared to say it or anything or ashamed to say it.
Absolutely.
But my counselor, you know, just said, you know, what's something that you know, really love and that you enjoy and, you know, what's a hobby? And the first thing that popped in my mind was roller skating. And then I started looking at rinks around here. And then the second thing that popped in my head was Lacey Skates. So I just reached out to her and said, you know, any good rinks around here? I know you've been traveling and going to a lot of, you know, events and stuff in different rinks. And she actually told me about Brentwood. And then she reached out to the people, you know, the friends she made here in Tennessee. And I went there and they welcomed me with open arms, you know, and we're family to this day. And we're really all really close. And you know, it's my new rink. It's, you know, we're all a big skate community there, you know, and just a big skate family. But definitely her kind of pushed me into the events, watching her and seeing her and going to all these events, you know, and, so I think the very first one I went to was Chattanooga was doing something, back then they had like a shuffle night or something and I went to, and I was like, whoa, what's going on here? And they got a DJ here mixing music and I was blown away. I've never seen it before in my entire life. So, and that just pumped me up, you know, and I just heard the music and then, you know, I think the second event I actually did was the Texas.
Okay.
And I was just completely blown away. I mean, I think that was the first time I heard Mayhem. I think Jams was at the Chattanooga one. No, I take that back. It was Hot Wheels. I did Hot Wheels and then Chattanooga.
Okay.
And I saw him there, and I was like, oh my gosh! And I haven't skated so hard. I can't even tell you in how long.
Yeah, man.
And then went to Texas and Mayhem and came back, and then then there was USA Shuffle, and then the whole thing just took off from there. So I love going to them. I love just listening to their music and skating to it.
Yeah, man, that's how Reflections was for me. Although it wasn't my first event, it was like the time where I know that's like one event I can look at where it was like I did not get off that floor one time. Between between Mayhem and I think Chip Rock was there and Jams. There's that, but then there's just also this super positive vibe happening there too.
Yeah,
where it was like I had to like remember to get something to drink. You know what I mean? But like, because I'm not built like that, bro. Like I'm not. Like,
you didn't want to get off the floor. You don't want to get off the floor though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it's not like I don't trust me. I don't have that kind of like Usain Bolt stamina. You know what I mean? Like, but man, yeah, it was just an energy that like kept me, just kept moving. But so you like, man, look, man, it's far from a unique situation though. Like, so when you are you're talking about you're talking to a counselor or a therapist and they mention about, something that you're really into or you love doing and you think of skating. So at that point, are you not skating at all or is it very infrequent?
It was very, very frequent. It was probably like every 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there wasn't like a skate fam per se and
no,
like
the past relationship I was in, it was, a lot of partying, drinking and stuff. And, I just wanted to get out of that scene. I was sitting in the bar and just like, what am I doing, with my life, and, out of shape, of course, and all that stuff. So, I just, fortunately the, relationships don't work out, and I moved here to Tennessee and I transferred, with my job and just, started over, just hit the reset button.
That's cool, man.
And my kids actually moved to South Carolina. They used to be in Illinois. So everything just kind of worked out.
Nice, man. But like,
yep.
but it seems like skating, I don't want to stretch.
It pulled me in. It pulled me in and it pulled me out of the depression that I was going through and everything like that.
Yeah.
So, and I just learned to love it, again. And I just, every single time I step into a rink, I just feel overwhelmed and just the energy, just being in a place like that, and skating on the floor, it just brings it all home to me.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but like the thing that does me in the most, like up here is normally like when I can get myself trapped in like this isolation mode, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Where I just completely disconnect. And, there's something that's interesting about like the rink in the sense where, look, and I'm not a stranger to also being in a room of people and feeling very alone,
Yeah.
I know what that's like, but there's a thing about like, I go to the rink and no matter what's going on, like, even if I'm not aware of it, I'm getting pulled out of that, man.
Yes.
And, but then there's still, because so there's still like, so I get surrounded by people and people that give a damn, people that actually like, they don't just like, there are people that reach out to me outside of the rink. Like, hey, I haven't seen you in like a couple weeks. How you doing?
Yeah.
You okay? So like I get to cut off that isolation thing that is super detrimental to me. Cause this thing, man, just goes. You know what I mean? And I don't send myself good messages.
It doesn't shut off.
No, dude, I don't, and I'm not, and like, it's not like a positive vibe up here, man. I don't have Tony Robbins up here, telling me, this, that, and the other thing. But like, but the other cool part about it though, is that, so although I go get to kind of get out of myself and surround myself, I also have this weird, like, time of almost meditation though amongst all these people where I can be kind of in my world in a healthy way. It's crazy, man. It's the very place that I kind of depend on to keep me connected to people, because I absolutely have to be connected to people. but also it's the one place where I get surrounded by all these people and I can find like my most calm state at the same time, just in here. I don't know if that makes any sense to you at all.
Oh, it makes total sense. It makes total sense.
Man.
That's how I feel when I'm playing music and I'm, transitioning music, to listen to music in headphones. I feel at peace.
Yeah.
I mean, there's, and skating, it's just peace. You know what I mean? It's because it's what we love to do. It's what we, enjoy. So
when you step back into this thing, you hadn't been diagnosed at that time. Was that playing a role in like the depression too? Or
yeah, big time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I just went in with a, itchy, scratchy throat and, I was having problems, swallowing food and whatnot. And, a lot of, coughing and stuff. So yeah, I knew there was something going on at that time.
What are you thinking? But you're not thinking that though. Or are you? I mean, I know me, like I'm a hypochondriac.
I was not thinking anything that at all, and then I found out it was because of acid reflux from GERD, and I've been on Prilosec and everything, and I wasn't eating a lot of spicy foods, and they just said you just need to start watching what you're eating, change your diet, and I had to have an anoscopy, all that stuff done. So
yeah. So I mean, like, were there times where you're going through this and it's like, I think of like someone like Michelle, right? Where I see her I see her somewhere and I think to myself, I remember seeing her at the one time at Reflections and she was not doing well, man.
Right. No, not at all.
And I remember she's running out the door, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to get sick. And I remember thinking like, man, like this must mean so much to somebody, you know what I mean, to come and like need it so bad. But were there times for you where you were like, I don't care how I feel, I need to go there, I need to get to the rink, or was there anything like that for you?
Yeah. I mean, I went through some, times like that where, I felt that way. Yep.
But so
I just knew there was something going wrong because your body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was, I had to go get it checked out.
Man, I couldn't, when you had told me, because it was after I think the Castle, and I'm like, or right around that time, but I'm watching you skate, and I'm like, wait, what? Really? You know what I mean? So dude, I just like I say to Michelle, like I don't think I could have done it. I don't like how you just man. I don't know.
Well, I was having acupuncture and stuff done for a while too, around the area, that just to relieve the uncomfortable feeling, the pain and stuff like that. That actually really helped out a lot. Minus the needles going in first, but it actually relieved a lot of the pain, actually that was going on in there, and that's what actually my doctor recommended. So
really, so that stuff works.
Yeah,
no kidding.
It does. Yep.
I mean,
and you got to go, you just got to have an open mind going into it. You know what I mean? And that's what I did. And, it really relieved it and helped it out a lot. So,
well, it's all about like, the natural electricity in your body, right? And basically like kind of harnessing it to a certain area. Isn't that?
Yeah. And you can feel it tingling and stuff like that. Like it's actually doing something. It's actually working when it's happening.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yep.
Man, I get kind of weird. My mom was like a massage therapist for a minute, like Reiki, putting rocks on people and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, get the hot lava rocks.
But I think acupuncture is a little bit more scientific. Yep. My mom was like not touching people. This is my energy. Yep. Get out of here, you flake. That's horrible. I love you, Mom. But anyway, man, we did an hour and 23 already, and I feel like there's so much we haven't talked about, dude.
What do you want to talk about?
I don't know, man. Like,
hit me up.
So okay. Well, now you're skating that rink. What was like? Okay, so after your first rink, what was the name of it? Your first home rink?
Main Street, USA.
So what is your next home rink? What's the next spot that you're just always going to be at?
Lombard, which is now it's closed. It was Lombard, Illinois.
Okay. And now home rink is what? Where do people see Brian Keltz on the regular?
Brentwood, Tennessee.
Brentwood, Tennessee.
Yeah.
So how big is that place?
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a nice sized floor. I mean, I'm going to compare it to probably Hiram.
Okay.
Hiram.
Okay. All right.
And the sound system is all EV. It's amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. All in the middle, all around the rink. It's not in the lights. I mean, it's a great place to skate.
There's some
great floor, great sound system, great lighting, great people. What more could you ask for? Clean.
Yeah, man. Well, there's some sound people or like audiophiles or like DJs out there that hear EV and they're like, hell yeah.
Yep.
But all right. So, okay. So now you do DJ Brentwood.
Yes, I am DJing there actually next Thursday. So not tonight, but the following Thursday.
So is it tough for you to be in the booth and watch people skate? Like, or are you okay with it? Do you ever get like?
I actually love it. I'm not doing it for money or anything. I'm just doing it. I'm kind of just trying to get my name out there right now, just for people to listen to my music, to feel my music, see if they like my music. The Chicago freestyle house, with the hip hop and everything, mixed into it, transitioned. Yeah, I just love doing it, man. I really love and I enjoy doing it, especially watching people out there skate to my music and looking up and, Lacey is always there with me through this whole entire thing. So everyone that I DJ, she's always there.
Yeah, man. So you're doing lives and stuff.
I have not done one without her, and I probably won't, to be honest with you. So I don't know how that will feel. She's my biggest supporter. And hopefully not just because I'm a boyfriend, but
no, man. I think there is something really kind of profound though, and like when you can literally watch what you're doing, kind of influence an entire crowd.
Yeah,
like, kind of like a whole like army of ants moving. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like it's really, really neat, man. I that's what I loved about it. But I know for myself, I never minded being in the booth, like at a club, private gig, anything like that. But man, at the rink, like I just was always, I'd rather be out on the floor. I'd rather be out on the floor.
I mean, you got to play to the crowd, But I know these people, what they skate to. I've seen them at all these events and stuff. Like I said, and I'll just bring all three of these well-known DJs, and play everything that they play and give everybody, what they love to hear. So,
and the vibe you're talking about, like, kind of, did you ever skate Roller Jam?
I never made it there, and before I heard it closed though, but I never made it there.
Yeah. So like, anytime I ask that question, someone says no, my response is always, oh.
I heard about DJ Tito.
Oh man, Tito T is, yeah. It's this weird, like, kind of fusion of like, kind of like that,
like clubby.
Yeah, but Northeast kind of hip hoppy.
Okay.
But housey,
mm-hmm.
But just kind of grimy, not quite freestyle speed. You know what I mean? We're staying,
right.
But like, dude, I mean, and that guy had, and here's what's crazy. You're in a one of the smallest rinks you could ever be in, full bar going. And every style represented in the room is on that floor, regardless of what set is happening.
Yeah.
Vibing out, doing their own thing cleanly, like just flawlessly moving in and out of each other. And because I remember the first time I went and I didn't even get in the door. I'm like paying at the door. There's like a door before the door.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hear that thumping and I'm like, oh yeah, this is where I got to be. And I get in there and it's like, I've never seen a situation where like, whether it's shuffle, whether it's jam, whether it's JB, where you have all these different styles going off, doing what they do,
right,
all at the same time to the same music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In a lot of situations, you'll have, not that DJs don't mix it up, but like you'll see, like throughout the night, you'll see different styles get represented more or less on the floor at a certain time. All night, every single style of skating and everybody, it was like no other vibe I'd ever experienced in my life.
I would love to see it. I would love to hear them.
Come to 47. At some point, come to Skate 47. Have you been there?
I'll make it there.
They inherited all the Roller Jam sound stuff anyway.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, dude, that place is just crazy.
I'm going to definitely make it out that way for sure.
Try rink coming up. But
yeah, I know it is.
It's all good, man. It's all good. There's so much happening.
We got some stuff in the works going on, but we'll try to make it out that way.
All I ask is and I can't say much, but keep the last week of September open for me.
The last week of September, okay.
Everybody hear that?
Right.
That's all I ask.
Mark's got something in the works.
I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. People aren't even gonna be like, "What? Are you serious? That's happening?" I'm like, "Yep, that's happening."
That's awesome.
So
I'm so looking forward to it.
What about you? Is there anything else you want to throw out there, man? Anything you want to tell the people, share, plug, promote, whatever, man? Time is yours. However long you want. Whatever you got to say.
No, not really. I mean, is there anything that you want to talk about or anything like that, or we pretty much hit on everything?
I kind of feel like we did. We're in an hour 30, man. I don't want to.
There you go.
I don't want to keep you too long. That's the first.
There you go.
I hope that.
Yeah, I got my DJ stuff back behind us, and I gotta, and I like to make a playlist and stuff, for the gigs that I have coming up, and a lot of people don't understand how much time and effort goes into actually being a DJ and to have the right music for the right crowd and everything. Like
really?
That.
You think, Brian?
Yeah, it's just not a monkey up there pushing buttons. I mean, it's actually an art of actually what we do. I know I'm back. I'm new to the game or whatever, but Mayhem and James can tell you the same thing. I mean, it's more of an art, transitioning music and stuff. We're just not up there pushing buttons. We're actually finding music and everything, and to stay on the same BPM and everything. So,
and it's so interesting too, because whenever I see somebody kind of like venture into the DJ thing, especially as a skater, or get back into it, it's like, man, there's not a more divisive topic than music, and you're voluntarily choosing to jump into it because there isn't, man. People,
right?
Oh my God, man! In the skate world, is there anything? I can't think of anything where people just are so divided on other than music.
Yeah, I mean, we love music, and we know our music, and we know we love to hear. So,
yeah, the one thing that is awesome about skating is like, I think as a culture, it keeps us grounded in where we come from, in our roots, because even kids like that are 15, 16, 14, 13 are getting down to music that was made 30 years before they were born, 40 years before they were born.
Yep.
And so there is that amazing element of like, keeping, kind of a history of our culture alive at all times. But the other end of that though is like, no change. Right. We don't want any change.
Yep.
That we kind of have to, we have to assimilate.
The missionary music. They just want to hear the missionary music. They just want to stay the same.
Yeah. Man. Debbie, nothing else.
Yeah.
Sons of bitches.
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing you've heard as a DJ? Craziest thing someone ever came up and said to you?
Play something with horns in it.
Mighty Boss Stones coming up. Yeah, absolutely. Can you just play something we can skate to?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Or them coming up and showing you their phone on Spotify saying, "Here, play this."
You can play it right off my phone. You can play it right off my phone, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, bounce to the ounce, and I'm playing 125, 120 beats per minute, and it won't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
like you said, it's like throwing a brick into the whole thing,
Just stop everything. Like that's what I say. Like, DJ E-break over here. Just bringing this thing to a halt. Oh man.
It's like when we were at the event, and somebody came up and asked, Silver to play a slow song. I was like, what? And he was nice and he did it, but it just brought the whole vibe and the energy was all down, and I just feel like you got to keep that energy going all night long. You know, just keep pumping, keep those people on the floor,
Dude,
give them something to stay to and skate to. You know,
man. Cater to the majority. Whatever's moving the floor is what's moving the floor.
It was towards the end of the night, you know, but you know, you won't hear that from me, unfortunately. So
Kennesaw is tough too, man.
Yeah, it is.
You know. But man, that wall at that turn, like whoo, man, I was
black floor, black wall,
dude. And I was saying, like, if you're not ready for that, that wall just reach out and just be like, I don't like you. You know what I mean? And just bang. Like, I mean, I brushed myself a couple times. They did this thing in United Skates in Jackson where they cut like, you know, the end of the floor off and just did it straight across, right? And it made all this room for like all these tables behind it. But if you're there in a late skate, all that is black back there. Okay.
Yep.
On top of the fact that this wall is about 3 feet high and it's black. So, man, I've seen people go over that like they just got checked into the boards. You know what I mean? Like they got knocked into like, you know what I mean? Someone else's bench. It snuck up on me one time, man, because you have no idea. It's just black. And, you know, you're skating backwards and you know, you're just anticipating a more gradual turn. Nope.
Yep. Nope. It's tight too. It'll hurt your feet after a while.
Yeah.
They had the lights off last year and it was really, really dark.
Yes.
And I mean, I almost hit the wall a couple times because you can't see where the floor and the wall's coming.
So we walked in. Now I got there much earlier than I did last year. There was still like the session going on, right? On Friday night. And it was like so bright. And I'm like, oh, this must be like for this session. But they kept the lights on. They kept the lights up all night, which I think it's already dark enough, even when it's not dark.
I know it's safer. Yeah. It's a lot safer. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And if you notice, so did Hiram. They kept on the lights too.
Yeah. The only thing that was tough about Hiram is like it's hard to record out there. Like, you know what I mean? Like just trying to get like decent footage of skaters and stuff for the site and everything. Like, you know, like Texas was perfect, even though that's a tight floor. You know, there's still like, that's why I was like the Sundays at those USA events, because the floors kind of clear out a little bit and it kind of opens up for people to kind of really like get loose and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
We were there last year for the Sunday, but we left this year, so we had to get back to work.
So I found out like I checked my email like I think like 4 a.m. or something, and it was like, yeah, you need to be here Monday. And I was like, shh.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I was up I snuck out of Rob's house. I didn't want to wake anybody up, but yeah, I was on the road. It was all good though. It was cool.
You made it, right?
Yeah, man.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, man.
Tired or not, you still made it.
Hell yeah. So it was a good time though, man. It was a good time. I thought I had another question to ask you, but I can't even remember what it was.
And skate country, how their floors.
I love skate country.
It sticks out a little bit when on that straightaway where the subwoofers are at. I bit the wall there and totally spun around. Lost my glasses, got floor burn all over in between my fingers, all over my arm. I didn't fall though, but it was a pretty bad one.
Where you're at, are most of those like step on, step off? Step down?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, they are.
It's crazy. Like it seems like because all through New England, everything's roll on, roll off.
No, everything's step down here, step on, step off. Yep.
What I think I like about it is, you might have heard me talking to Billy about this, but I think it forces people to kind of have to check themselves before they just roll out and
dart on. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, especially at like a USA event or something like that. So, that was what I want to ask you. So, like at Brentwood, is it like that kind of vibe, like a USA event kind of vibe? Are you guys like speed? Crazy?
It's not as fast. It's not like Florida fast or anything like that. It's just more. They're just more. You know, they're just basically they call it trucking. Actually, is what they call it out here is trucking.
Yep.
They go a little bit slower, more cautious, you know, but you know, still skating the music, you know, I'm being on rhythm or whatever, but, it's just not as fast moving.
Yeah. The full, and how's your spacing? Like, is it like jam packed or are you guys pretty much like?
No, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Yeah. About 100, 150 people there on a Thursday night. So I think it's perfect.
I got to get there. I got to get there.
It's a beautiful rink.
Brentwood.
Yep.
Okay.
Brentwood Skate Center.
Brentwood Skate Center. In Brentwood?
In Brentwood, Tennessee. Yep.
It makes sense.
Yep.
All
10 minutes away from my house, 10 minutes away from Lacey's. So
sweet.
Yep.
All right, man.
Had to move somewhere close.
Yeah, man. Well, look, I don't have any other questions for you, man. If there's anything else you want to throw out there, feel free. But if not,
no, I think we're good.
All right,
I think we covered a lot. And if you have any other questions or anything for me, please
I'll
feel free to ask me.
I'll jot them down. You can.
Yeah, there you go. And then just get back to me.
So everybody,
when you think of something else, just let me know.
Yeah, man. Everybody keep an eye out for Brian Keltz. If you guys are looking for a DJ at your rink, you're anywhere around the Tennessee area, whatever, if you're looking to book a DJ for an event, get in touch with this guy, man. He's not going to let you down.
Greatly appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
Greatly
man. No worries.
That.
Man, it's been a pleasure getting to know you, man. I can't wait to just skate together more. And
because I mean, you got your Florida DJs, and Tennessee doesn't have anything like that here at all. There's no Tennessee DJs that do that around here, like Mayhem Jams, and
well, there is now.
There's not one DJ here, and I visited rinks, and they don't want to do anything yet. Like, I don't understand. Only Brentwood, like Smyrna or Rivergate, the other really nice rinks around here. Unfortunately, they're just all about, we'll just play off the iPad and go from there. I'm like, okay, let me know if you change your mind. I told them I would do it for free. So they're like, maybe not this time, maybe next time. So we'll see. I might have to have Lacey Skates go up there with me.
There you go. Yeah.
give them a little push.
Yeah. Just flash your pearly whites. Smile.
Yep.
That Lacey charm.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, but for sure, man. Dude, thank you so much, man. I'm so grateful that you did.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, man.
It was a lot of fun.
I think people are going to enjoy it a lot, man.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. So don't forget, check out Brian Keltz. You're looking for a DJ down there, man.
Yeah.
Scoop him up now, man, because he's not going to be available very soon. Let me tell you.
Let's go. Let's do this. Yeah.
All right, Brian. Have a good one, man. Thanks again.
All right, buddy. You too. Thanks, Mark.
See you.
See you later.
See you.
Bye. Peace.